a guitar enthusiast, and you probably are since you're watching this video, you will have heard the name of Collings Guitars before. We've expressed our love for their beautiful instruments on our channel many times before, and we're definitely not alone in our admiration for their expertise. Over the years, many professional guitarists found their way to the beautiful acoustics and electrics built in Austin, Texas. We're talking about musicians like Joni Mitchell, Julian Lage, Bill Frisell, and many more. We are very fortunate to be a Collings guitar dealer, and so we get to unpack and play a lot of their guitars that came straight from the Collings factory. And time again, not only the players but also our luthiers are stunned by the impeccable quality that they offer on a consistent rate. But a brand like this doesn't just pop up out of nowhere, and we felt it was time to dedicate a Benchtalk episode to the story of Collings Guitars. And to do that, we have to start with the mastermind and master luthier that started it all, Bill Collings. Bill Collings was a pre-med student at Ohio University in the 1970s when he realized that he was more interested in guitars and engineering than medicine, and decided to quit and move to Houston, Texas. Not long after that, he started building his first guitars and doing repairs for local guitarists. Lyle Lovett was a local guitarist who was a real supporter of Bill's guitar building and really helped build his brand in Houston. More and more Texas players seeked out Bill for custom guitars and repairs, which resulted in him building about 50 guitars and a few banjos in Houston. In the early 80s, he wanted to head west to continue his business in California. He decided to make a detour via Austin, Texas, and this is where he befriended luthier Tom Ellis. They became close friends and colleagues, and Tom offered Bill to stay in Austin to share a space in his workshop. Tom Ellis, who is a master mandolin builder, once described their first meeting in an interview. He said that right after he offered Bill a place in his workshop, Bill accidentally knocked one of Tom's finished mandolins off the wall with a piece of lumber, after which Bill packed up his boxes and was ready to continue his journey to California. Luckily, Tom gave him another chance, which turned out for the best, as Collings Guitars found its footing in Austin and Bill and the company never left. And on top of that, the mandolin even survived the fall as well. Fast forward a few years, and in the mid-80s Bill had his own shop and was building flat-top and arch-top acoustic guitars. In 1989 he was contacted by George Groon of Groon Guitars in Nashville. It's one of America's best-known specialty guitar stores. And he was asked to build 24 custom Groon guitars. This national exposure was a huge boost for the company, and the demand for Bill's guitars grew bigger and bigger. Around the turn of the century, Collings Guitars was a household name in boutique guitar building. More and more famous artists ended up playing Collings guitars around this time, guitarists like Pete Townsend and Brian May, for example. To meet the demand, the Collings workshop also grew exponentially. Soon there were 50 full-time employees, and in 2005 he opened a new 2,500 square meter workshop. What was special about this new place was the use of CNC technology. This addition was a next step in consistent and accurate guitar manufacturing, without losing the craftsmanship that Collings is known for. They also began crafting other instruments than just acoustic guitars. There were Collings mandolins and also electric guitars entered the catalog. 2014 marked the first year of a new addition to the Collings brand, Waterloo Guitars. Waterloo Guitars is a standalone line of guitars that are vintage inspired, specifically smaller body guitars that were built during the Great Depression. During the Depression, most guitars were sold through mail order catalogs, and they were mostly sub-brands of the major guitar companies of the time. They were a fraction of the price of the main models, so that most people could afford them, and the companies had a way to sell loads of them to keep afloat. The guitars had simple appointments and didn't use any premium woods. They didn't sand the braces, for example. They didn't clean up the excess glue on the inside. They were made quickly and were all about function. Guitars of that period have a certain raw and unpolished sound that a lot of people are drawn to. Unfortunately, most of these guitars didn't stand the test of time, and there are a few reasons for this. Most of these guitars only came with cardboard cases, which didn't really offer any protection at all. Next to that, most houses didn't have any form of air conditioning, so the guitars were exposed to very harsh conditions, both in the winter and the summer. That's why Bill himself said that he wanted to bring back the voice of these Depression-era guitars in an instrument that would actually play. Similar to the guitars at the time, Waterloo guitars are more affordable than the Collings instruments. Bill explained this difference in price by saying,
"The hours that do go in it are very skilled hours, but it's probably 1/3 of what it might take to build a very high-end guitar where you obsess over every little detail. You put craftsmanship into the guitar, but only where it really matters. It ends up being a no-frills utilitarian guitar, but the tone and the intrinsic value are still there."
On July 14, 2017, Bill Collings died at the age of 68 after a battle with cancer. His death shocked the whole guitar community, and countless people spoke up about how Bill had influenced their lives with his mastery and his kindness. After his death, Collings Guitars continued Bill's legacy, and they are still building some of the finest stringed instruments on the planet today. So, let's listen to their guitars one more time, and we'll showcase some more close-up shots of their impressive craftsmanship. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.